Woo! I'm live. Okay, so I was gonna go live a lot earlier today, and just so you know, I'm not doing this every Thursday. It just so happens that it's been this is my third Thursday in a row, and maybe I might do it some more on Thursdays. The big thing is I want to start building my presence on YouTube. Now, I understand that one of the things that people do to build an audience is instead of going live all the time, that you need to make like short videos and put them up. So maybe I'll do that at some point. But the idea is I want to build up a YouTube audience and have a live show in which we talk about, well, I want to talk about like the writing process, the publishing process, and marketing books. And eventually, what I'm going to do is make it so that I can bring other people on and talk to other authors and really just pick their brains and like how okay, so what's your writing process, or how are you publishing your book, and how are you marketing it, and which I think will be a lot of fun. It'll be very useful to me, and it'll be useful hopefully to some others. And in the meantime, I hope to sell some books. And by the way, if you're interested in any of my books, I put a link to my authors page on YouTube, so you can go there and click and check them out. So I am not going to hopefully go too long because I just spent 2.5 hours on a podcast this evening. Young man named Paul Fahrenheit. I someone told me that he had a podcast and I should get a hold of him, that he likes Civil War stuff, and so I did. He's on Substack, and so most of his stuff, he's got some free content, but most of it, including my interview with him, is going to be behind a paywall. So I don't know how many people are going to be able to hear it. Paul's an interesting guy. He's very political. And if you know anything about me, well, if you know the real me, you know kind of where I lie. But if you kind of know me through social media, you may notice that there is a lack of politics from me. And that's because, um, first of all, yeah, of course, things are important. I vote, all that kind of stuff. But and I make sure I really do. I make sure I vote in every single election. And the only thing that you'll hear from me on social media is I'll tell you to go out and vote, regardless of who it's for, because I'd rather, that's how democracy works. I guess what I'm trying to say is I avoid being political because my goal is, first of all, I mean this sincerely. I I have political convictions, but that's never going to stop me from being friends with you. Like I just I like I don't. I'll tell you this: my entire family is one way. In fact, my sister, and I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not ashamed of her. Her name is Michonne Maddock. I'll just say that. She is very much one way that I am not, and very politically active and a little bit famous in the state of Michigan. As far as I'm going to go with that. And I love her to death, but we're never going to vote for the same person. Uh, all all that to say, I avoid it because it doesn't sell books. I want to sell books to people who vote the opposite of me, as well as the people who vote the way I do. And I don't even completely agree with all the people who vote the same way I do. So it's a quagmire. It's not good business, so I avoid it. So anyway, I was on Paul's podcast. His name's Paul Fahrenheit. There's a D in the Fahrenheit. It's spelled a little funny. You can find him on Twitter. He's on Substack. If you're interested in that, I might put out the link. We do kind of get into it a little bit about politics and racial issues, which I was a little nervous about, but it was pretty tame. And I think I made my points, and it was amicable. In fact, we got done with the podcast, and then done recording, we still talked for another hour. He's a nice kid, and we don't agree with each other, and that's okay, man. That's okay. And hopefully, I'm going to sell, some of his dedicated listeners are going to buy some books from me. You never know. And that's my thing is like, I can't understand this mentality of you can't associate with somebody who's politically different from you. or do business with them. I mean, I just think that's just absolutely absurd. And I go on this guy's show. It doesn't mean I endorse his beliefs or his positions, but I can still go on there and talk and be friendly, and we can have it. We had a nice debate about things, and found out, and this is I find this to be true, that most of us are in the middle, and we kind of agree with each other on certain things, and then on other things we don't. That's fine. But anyway, that's what I was doing tonight. So I'll just give you guys a little bit of a update of where I am. First of all, let's just talk about the YouTube channel. So, like I said, my first goal is, my goal is to build up an audience here and eventually bring on other authors. And I'm not going to ask anybody to come on the show until I start seeing that I have an audience, and people. And I've looked back, when I record this, like right now, nobody's watching it. That's fine. I go back and I look, and I do get views that come later. So hopefully I'll start, and I'm doing them on Thursday nights too. But I don't have the technology just yet to bring other people on, and I don't understand why this is not native to YouTube. Why do I have to have third party software to be able to bring out the two things? I want to be able to bring on guests, and I also want to be able to share my screen like you do on what is that thing that we all do our meetings on Zoom? Uh, Apparently, it looks like the best option is a thing called StreamYard, and there's a free version, and I'll probably get that. So, and when I do, I'll bring Lloyd on, because Lloyd and I are friends. Lloyd Elmore Jr. He and I are friends, and he is willing to do some experimentation, and he's not too big for his britches just yet to go on my show with nobody watching. So probably in the next couple of weeks, I'll work out a way to do that, and it'll be interesting because Lloyd he's got a book of short stories and a novel out. His second book of short stories is coming out this fall, and then his second novel is coming out. I can't remember exactly when that's coming out. Maybe the following year. All right. So for me, here we go. So let's talk about the writing. So I just finished chapter 32 yesterday. I'm 100 and about 104,000 words into the novel, Mexico, My Love. I'm in the last. I think I have 3 or 4 chapters to write, maybe a little bit more. Today, I wanted to get in at least 500 words, but I procrastinated. I'll just be honest, and I'm also a little stuck because, I just felt like I had to go back and kind of reset some things and do some more plotting and figure out and say, okay, we're getting pretty late we're 104,000 words into it, so we need to land the plane. So I wrote out all the things that I want to have happen between where I finished chapter 32 and the end of the book, and then put them in chronological order, and then made sure they matched up with the history so that everything's working out well. So I don't know. I try to get 500 words a day, a Monday through Friday. So maybe if I can get to a point where I can start writing again on Friday, maybe hopefully I'll get 1,000 words, and we'll see. We'll see. As far as the marketing, so I had a really good day, and anybody follows me on social media, you'll see this. I went to the Lode's house, and they had CodyCEngdahl Day. And they set up a table for me, and I brought my books, and it was a busy day. I think I got there right at 9 when they opened, and about 10 o'clock, the first group of people came. It's a museum. It's a tour. Like you go on this tour, and they tell you the story, and they take you to the house. And eventually, as people were cycling through, I got really busy, and I was selling books and signing them, and taking pictures. And what's really great about it is that the Lode's house is a little bit of a tour. I don't know, it's not touristy. It's not like a tourist trap, but it is a destination. So there are people from all over the country and actually all over the world that will come there and tour the house. And so like, I know a set of my books, got on a plane and went back to California. So what's neat is that, I sell a lot of books to people here in Nashville. This is stuff that I do outside of Amazon, of course. And so, when I go and I do a Civil War talk, I sell in patches of people that are, in the region. But this was an opportunity to get physical copies to go with people. So, like, let's say these people bought a set of my books, they take them back to California and they read them, and they had a good time, and they lend the book to somebody. And they're like, hey, this is a really great book. I really like this writer. And so maybe that person goes online and buys my next book when it comes out, which is, by the way, hopefully comes out in October or November. That's what I'm shooting for. So yeah, it was a good day. I really enjoyed myself. I met a lot of very interesting people, had a lot of conversation. I was exhausted though, because it was 95 degrees. Now I'm in the shade, so it's fine, but it was humid, 95 degrees, and I'm playing fiddle and talking and just on, for 8 hours straight, and then had to drive home, and I was just blown out. Made spaghetti dinner for Laura and me, and then I think for like the next 2 days, I was just wiped out, just exhausted. So I don't really have anything big planned for a while now. In fact, it's my policy when it comes to my own book sales. So if I haven't explained this, and maybe I've explained it too much, but I typically, uh, I sell books on Amazon, and that's all over the world. Most of the books I sell are in the UK. Believe it or not, I do better in the UK than I do in the US, and most of it's Kindle. Kindle or Kindle Unlimited in the UK is kind of like my bread and butter. And then I'm able to purchase what's called author copies from Amazon, which they basically ship me the books at cost. I just have to pay for the shipping and the production cost of the books. I don't know why they do that. I think it's because they know if I sell the books, it's going to eventually build me up as they're taking a gamble on me. So I'm able to buy it at a discounted rate, and then I can sell them myself. And it was never my intention to be in the business of direct book sales or stocking bookstores. That's a lot of work. And stocking bookstores, like, eventually I would rather have like a publishing company do that for me. Like personally stocking bookstores, it's a lot of work. And I'll never, I mean, no, I'm saying never, but I mean, I would have to be like stocking a lot of bookstores for me to really start enjoying a profit off it. But I learned that as an author who makes appearances, public appearances, I have to have books for people to buy so they can sign. And people want signed books. So I do it two ways. I mean, I try to avoid mailing them, but I will. So if you reach out to me and say, I want a signed book, will you mail it to me? Yeah, I'm just going to charge you the shipping. But other than that, yeah, no problem. And I do it. It's a little bit of pain, but you know what? If somebody wants to buy a book from me, I'm going to find a way to do it. So I'm willing to play ball. But also just all these book signings and events I do. So I worked it out that it's the most cost effective for paying the shipping rate to buy them in boxes of 20. I did the math. I said, how is it cost effective to buy them in 10s, 15s, 20s, 30s? And it turned out that 20 was the perfect amount of what you pay for shipping. And so it keeps my unit costs. Because what I do is the shipping plus the cost of the books divided by 20 books is what my cost per unit is. And then I sell them to people for the same price they get them from Amazon. Although I have a deal if you buy all three. From Amazon, it's like Rampage is 10, Perils is 12, and Blood for Blood is 16. But if you buy them all three from me in person, I'll give them to you for $35. So and it's funny. I'm surprised how many people take that deal. They've never read a lick from me, and they just, you know what, I'm $35. And to tell you the truth, it is really a good deal because, I was looking at um, paperbacks like mine. Not the what do you call it, the trade paperbacks, but the ones you go to the grocery store, and then, like a small book is selling like $24. And so I think I'm reasonable. My books are reasonable. But anyway, so I buy them in books of boxes of 20, and I decide uh, I always want to have a certain amount of stock because I might get a phone call tomorrow and someone say, "Hey, do you mind coming and doing this thing? You can sell your books." And yeah, absolutely. But it takes, like, for example, I just ordered another box of Blood for Blood, and it's gonna come, like, I think 19 days. But it was the estimated time it was going to take for them to get printed and shipped to me because they print them on demand. So, so it's important to keep a certain amount of stock because I can't just, like, oh, can you do this thing next week? I'll never have books in time, so I always make sure. So here's my rule: I buy them in boxes of 20, and once I get under 10, I'll buy another box. And so I should never have more than 30 at the most. And once I get under 10, time to buy another box because, the worst thing possible is that somebody wants to buy a book and I don't have any. So the only thing that I will the only other little rule in this is that if I have multiple events, which I've had, I was really busy about a month ago, where, like, let's say I have two talks in a row. Well, I make sure that I have enough books for both. So I just figure, and this is very generous, but I figure that, okay, plan on selling at least 10 of each book at each event. So make sure that you have enough books to cover that. So sometimes I will have more than 30. I'll order a new box sooner because I'm like, I'm going to need them. And yeah, I think actually after that month, I finally got my inventory under. I don't know where I am with Rampage, and my brain's dying, so I know I'm just babbling right now. But I got under 10 with Blood for Blood, so I ordered another box, but I don't have any events right now. I mean, let me look at get a list of the events here and see if I have anything. Let's see, gig list. Yeah, maybe in August. Okay, I'm doing a wedding. That's a fiddle gig. And I'm also doing another fiddle gig on the 27th of August. That's in Springfield, and that's Frank and Jesse James Day. It's a very interesting event, and we played it last year. And basically, Frank and Jesse James, famous outlaws, robbed a bank in Springfield, Tennessee. And so every year they have a reenactment there, and it's a lot of fun. And there's like there's booths there and all sorts of entertainment. And we've been once again asked to come and play. And last year, Danny, who runs the museum in Springfield, gave me a booth free of charge. He's just, well, I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but gave me a booth. It's kind of for my services of playing, because I don't just play the whatever thing he wants me to play, but I also sit at my booth and play my fiddle, which kind of adds to the ambiance. And I did it last year, and I sold a bunch of books, and so I think he'll probably do the same thing. So anyway, what did I say? August 27th. August 27th, if you are in Middle Tennessee and you'd like to come out and see me, if you'd like to buy a book or hear me play some fiddle, or just come out and say hello, Springfield downtown, Frank and Jesse James Day. It's actually a really good time. Bring your kids. It's a fun event. They run through when they do it, they come riding on horses, shooting blanks, but they got the old Western six pieces. So that's really it. Uh, I might do something in November in Memphis. I got to call these guys back because they were looking for a speaker, but they didn't have anything open till November. I'm starting a new study with the work. I work for a company called RTI. It's a research company, and I do kind of like short contract or temporary contract, part time work for them. It's data collection, and it's fun. It's just enough. It's just enough money to keep me going as I'm writing, and uh, I have a new study with them starting up, and it's a school study, so I got to see what my schedule is going to be before I say okay to that talk in Memphis in November, and then I don't have anything on the books, although there will be stuff popping up, but for example, I will definitely go march with the Sons of Union Veterans at the Battle of Franklin, uh, Battle of Franklin anniversary. It's a really cool event. Um, the Sons of Union Veterans, we all meet at I can't remember the name of the park, but we'll march up to where the battle was, which is right there where the Carter House or the Lodes House is, and the Sons of Confederate Veterans will start over at Winston Hill, and they'll march down, and basically the path of the Confederates that assault. And as they come down, we Union veterans will salute the Confederate veterans. And I always bring my fiddle and I always play Dixie, and they love it. They just, and then once they come by, then we all, because we're all friends, we'll all shake each other's hands and talk. We're all part of the Civil War history community and reenactments and all that. That's a great thing I get to do. And I, I really make a point to do it because, as you can imagine, I live in the South. I live in Tennessee. There are far more Sons of Confederate veterans than there are so like there's usually like a very few of us. So we're trying to get as many guys out there. And I finally got my first. I have a jacket now. I got a captain's shell jacket. I really like it a lot. And I'm going to work on my uniform and go out there and represent, and because there'll be like 10 times as many guys in the Confederate. So we're always which is kind of true because the Union guys were outnumbered at Franklin. So and then everything's in the next year. In March, I'm going to be at the Mid South Military History and Civil War show. That's in Hernando, just south of. It's in Mississippi, but just south of Memphis. And then in April, I'm going to be presenting at the Civil War Symposium in Quincy, Illinois. That is a really neat thing. They're going to put me up in a hotel. And I'm really looking forward to that. So let's see. That's it for my events. And we talked about where I am in my writing. And the only other thing I am going to tell you is that I'm working on learning how to do Amazon ads. And I will tell you that I'm just as confused now as when I started, but I'm working on it. Next week is Amazon Prime Days. And even though my books aren't part of that, they say that it's a good time to run ads because there's more traffic on the Amazon site than usual, and a lot of times people check out books. I mean, Amazon, in the beginning was a online bookstore. That's how they got started. So I happen to be running a Kindle special on Blood for Blood. It's only $1. Don't be mad if you pay $2.99. Come on, it's just $2. Give me a break, man. I'm struggling here. So I decided, okay, I'll play along. So I'm running ads on Amazon in the U.S. for Blood, and in the UK for Blood and um, Rampage on the River. So we'll see. We'll see if and they say you should start before before the Prime days, and the Prime days are next week. And basically, what it is, I had to look this up because I'm like, what are Amazon? My calendar is on September 1847, by the way. I actually put historical dates when I'm writing, and I back up my online calendar, my computer calendar, my iCalendar, so I can look. Sometimes I need to see it on a calendar when events are happening. So the Prime days are the 12th and the 13th of July. And what they are is if you are a Prime member, there are special deals for you on those days. I thought that it was a day that everybody is considered a Prime member, but no, I guess the deals are only for people who have Amazon Prime. So anyway, it's neither here or there. That's basically it. I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you very much for listening, and I am going to try to do some kind of live stream, whether anybody watches or not, at least once a week. And I am building this channel, so if you do watch, if you can, I'm going to stop saying the word because it's really annoying. If you watch, give me a thumbs up, please, or I don't know, leave me a comment or something like that. I'll read everything because I don't get a lot anyway. So have a good evening or whenever it is you are watching this, and we'll be talking soon.